Well, howdy gardeners of all persuasions, perceptions, misunderstandings, confusions, and, well, you know, welcome everybody. You're always welcome here to the return to the Perfumed Gardens with yours truly, Rik Strange, the head gardener. Man, am I growing a crop now. Woo! Anyway, I suppose you're wondering what's going on this time with the captain.
Well, we're always wondering that, but what the heck's wrong with your nose?
Well, I'll get to that. I know something seems to be amiss. Well, this facial adjustment is proof not to ever stick your head out the window when you're driving down the road. Ever. No, I didn't put my nose in anybody else's business. But anyway, Dr. Wagstaff said I'd be right as methane rain in no time. So don't worry about it. We're moving on to better things anyway. So on with the show. Woohoo! So today we're going to start off with a real ring dinger. This is a 3-volume 6 LP extravaganzaroni from the Peter Green era of Fleetwood Mac. This is killer stuff. Grabbing the stage, which they did, for 3 nights in February of 1970. They were at the Boston Tea Party, which is a pretty happening place. I never went there, but I've seen a lot of bands' histories talking about the Boston Tea Party. This is a pretty far out place. Well, you know, Boston was happening anyway. Big time psych scene there. Anyway, the boys at this time were Peter, Jeremy Spencer, Danny Kerwin, and Misters McVie and Fleetwood. And man, these guys tore the planks off the stage and laid down this killer vibrations. Some of these tracks trickled out in the early 80s on a single or a double LP, I believe, but it wasn't the complete show. And this, my friends, gardeners extraordinaire, this LP, this 6 LP, 5-sided I might say. One side on the last disc is etched. So, it got the official blast off in 2013, I believe. So without further ado, let's blow the roof off this place with a tuner called Only You. Dope! I forgot to add my little quirky remark. Oh, so smoke 'em if you got 'em, and I'll apply the gravity waves to ground ya over there. So as you just saw a still picture of the 3-volume set together, because I can't juggle them all together. I'm not Vince Ramone, you know, from the Cirque du Soleil. Anyway, wham, bam, and thank you, Harriet. Woo! That cooks the R&R stew, baby. I mean, red hot. Watch your tongue. Poo high before you take a spoonful. We're going to look at volume 1, which is what the song came from that we just played. It's pretty cool. There's a little bit of it's a repetitious thing on all 3 of these volumes, what they tell you in here. And it just goes on to say about how it was at the Boston Tea Party, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, moving around a little bit here. Well, you know, the entire event, I'm talking about that whole gig, man, this shakes the pillars of creation. Woo! Really an outstanding event by a group that would very soon disintegrate like a splitting proton isotope on vodka. Woo! Oh, man. The fluctuational talents of the band shine on, man. I mean, this was a really talented ensemble. It was Peter, no question about it. He was the head writer, but it was also with Spencer. Now his rock and roll roots and slide guitar, I mean, some serious blues blasters come out of that guy off this record. Danny Kerwin, good rhythm guitar, some lead. I mean, it was a nice 3-piece guitar parts that were floating all over every song. Very cool, very cool. You know, the Mac lost me after this period of the group. I mean, I really liked everything prior to this album in 1970, and then Play On came out, and then it was sayonara for me. I never got a monkey grip on what they morphed into, you know. Sorry. If you dig them, that's fine. I just sort of put the brakes on after that. Okay, next stop on the Mystery Train ride is a Danish group. I think I'll have a Danish with a hot coffee. Oh, no. This is a band I spoke of a while back. And at that point, they were a prog psych rug beater from Denmark. Woo! Clog City in 1969. And they did a 360 after that first LP was released. And they tripped into a bluesy R&B thing. Oh man, Bob, this is happening. Can you say Cosmic Blues Band? Or even Cold Blood? Well, we're speaking of the Savage Rose. Now, what we got here is Annabella, who is still lead singer, leading the band and still nailing it to the front door. Bang, bang-a-root, bang, baby. Whoo! So let's plow the grooves with a ballad of Gale. It's a kind of a cool tune off the first side, and we're going to listen to it right nowsers. Oh, I slipped. Annabella is a totally out there solar magnetic flare, baby. Woo! Here is the record. Now I got this at a, I don't know, I won't say half A, I'll say half butt record show that I went to out at the Point by the old naval base in Alameda. But everybody out there that was there was into making wheeling and dealing, so I got this for practically nothing. It was like $3. Some of the members are missing. There's a young lady that was singing in this band, and then there was another keyboardist that was playing in this band, and they went bye-bye. Anyway, let's talk about it. So, the thing about Annabella is she ain't no cocktail waitress on some oil rig, baby. Can you dig that? I mean, the pipes are still there, but the style is light years in another direction. And I mean, she is really burning up the carpet here. It's like, I guess the analogy I'd make would be, it's like the whole band went to Barney's Beanery and changed their pants. Woohoo! So, let's see, you know, their shift into R&B and blues and enlightenment, woo! This whole thing shines on the whole San Francisco scene too that was going on at that time. This LP is so cool and very frantic at times. I'd say get this one if you can find it, but this genetical musical flow into the frosty coolness of colorful notes, well, where did all that pop out of? I don't even know if it makes any sense, but I don't know. Anyway, we're going to talk about another great San Francisco band. I can't help myself. This is an outstanding LP that came out a couple years back. It's live from 1966, and you know how I felt about some of these early recordings because they were done so poorly. Well, I'm backpedaling on this one, baby. This event was it's true in your basement garagey goodness. One of the first times that, here it comes, that Janis Joplin played with Big Brother and Holding Company. And man, she is just plowing above the band, because that was what they really wanted, was a singer that could sing above the loudness that they were putting out. And man, does she ever. You know, they were really putting it out. She's a great fit for this whole thing, man. I mean, she's really happening. So, before we get too much farther, let's listen to a cut that is called, I think we're going to listen to Whisper Man. And so I'll drop the tone on that one very carefully. And don't be afraid to dance away. just this LP and this event is just the cursor of what's going to happen in 11 months at Monterey for these guys. So we're going to look at the record. It's a really nice package. It was recorded on off the board, the soundboard, so it's really decent quality for 1966. It's blistering. There is some information inside. There's a sleever with the, I can't get it. It's actually an opener-upper. And generally on the last couple of unofficial from Columbia Records releases that came out about Big Brother over the last few years, like Cheaper Thrills was one, Dave Getz does the talking on the info sheets. He's really good at what he does. Peter Albin to a degree, but mostly Dave. And it's good. It's very informative, and it really gets you going. You know, this whole LP just jumps out at you. From the minute it's on to the minute it's over, there's I believe 8 different cuts on here also that were never actually officially released, that being one of them, Whisper Man. You could tell they were learning how to write, but it was good. It was still happening. You know, I'm really tripped out by these really excellente early recordings. You know, finding these live pieces, to me, is like digging for a Paleozoic rocks and coming up with diamonds. I mean, woo! Keeper, man, keeper. And cheap thrills at a cheap price, too. Ah! That's a little bit of a funny thing I did there. I'm laughing. Anyway, all the way to the bank. No, never happened. Okay, now, for something a little farther out of the pool of gravity, after the previous little ditty that we threw up, bag of records, bag of books, where I did a bunch of police material, I pulled out a dusty disc from the vaults that I hadn't played in a long time, and I'm glad I did, and it's by Andy Summers and Robert Fripp from 1980 and 2. It was the Police had already, I believe the record was put together in 81, so the Police were still touring, but that was their last tour, and they were kind of, they weren't getting it from me anymore. Anyway, the name of the album is called I Advanced, Masked. Okay, go figure, I don't know. The voyage, this particular voyage, this LP, takes us on an ethereal, space, dusty black hole of majestical, magnetical, formulated notes and atmospherically placed textures. That's a whole mouthful. Now it's like a big hoagie. As well as you can expect, both guitarists are shining on big time. You know, you can hear, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so let's just tether your senses for something completely adventurous. Wow, too much coffee again. We're going to play a tuner called Hardly Country. So if you want to touch down later on, let's gather over there. and synchronicity period police. Very ethereal. Wander through the advanced case of handfuls of notes thrown into your ears is the best way I can explain this one. You know, the best way to listen to this record is in a darkened room with a headset. Let's look at the record. There it is. This one is also super duper cheap. I've seen it a lot when I do go digging. There's the boys in the back. Let's talk about this for a second. All the instruments on the album are played by the two boys. I mean, everything. Synthesizer, Moog, Babading, Wang Banger, Note Bender, anything. Let's see. You know, on this record, it's like a soundscape, you know. I mean, I don't know how else to talk about it. You ain't gonna be able to dance to it. Well, I wouldn't say that. I've been out of my skull a few times, and I could have danced to this. But it's a nice change of pace, and it's cheap, like I said. You know, I like. Oh, the dogs are barking. I really like some latter-day King Crimson, and this is what you're going to get on this one. But you can hear some early Crimson on here, but certainly you can tell the distinctive guitar playing of each guy. I mean, it's not a mystery. You'll be able to hear it. I'd say you got to get this one. I think it's one that you should go out and search out. I mean, everything I show for the most part, except a couple that are lame, but I'll tell you which ones those are as they come around. You should go out and try to find them. Some of them you ain't gonna find them no digging. You know, you're gonna have to do the internet. But anyway, this one is a cheapie and it's really good. If nothing else, get it for the sense of culmature. You'll get it when you put it on. Woo! So, it's been a long journey today, but never fear, I'm gonna drag you through the muck for one more. I'm gonna wreck your sensibilities, or concept I should say, of psych music with one last LP. This one I've been looking for, and I was able to score this one. This is a desert find. This one comes from way south from here, like as in South America. Whew, like as in Brazil. Woo, that's a nutcase for you. Ah, that's a pun. I made a pun. Ah. Anyway, what we have here for you is well, it's like if Sergio Mendes and Brazil '66 all dropped some really good Owsley acid. And, you know, you get the picture? You know, I mean, when I heard this, it's like all over the wall. I'm talking about a band called the Os Mutantes, which is Those Mutants. Oh, let's just get down to business with their biggest hit, because this is like a greatest hits LP. It spans their career, let's say that. And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, so bear with me, because I flunked Spanish and I never took Brazilian. So here it goes. Ando mio desligado. I don't know. But it's good. So grab a hot bowl of feijoada and a cold La Colombe. Ooh. That'll do the trick. And here we go. Now. to make a correction because I was correctified in the little break there. And I was informed that my ignoramus about South American languages is that in Brazil, they speak Portuguese, not Spanish. So there you go. I flunked a lot of stuff when I was at the University of Hard Knocks, okay? Anyway, wowzers, Bob. Here, we're going to look at the record. Now, this is a recent reissue. It's a gatefold. What's cool about this, you can't see it, because I have a hard time reading it without a magnifying glass, but they translate all the lyrics. And they give you a really killer history of the band. So, let's talk about this for a minute. You know, I'm not sure if I want a samba or I want to just drift under the liquid light show when I listen to these guys. I mean, because it's like, woo, danceable, but out there. The band was comprised of the brothers, oh boy, here we go, Baptista. Ooh, I got that right. With an angelic singer by the name of Rita Lee Jones. What? From Brazil? She's a transplant. Her parents came there when the Great Flood hit wherever they came from. I don't know. All I know is that her parents were from another country. They came there, they transplanted, and bingo, there they are living in San Pablo.
Polo.
Oh, Paulo. Well, thank you once again. You know, I love being corrected, especially in front of my 1 million followers. Thank you very much, Nancy Lee. Okay, let's see if I can continue with some composure. Anyway, these cats baffled the nomenclature that we're living down there because everybody down there is doing a lot of stuff with drums, which this record has, but it wasn't anything like what was even remotely going on. They went against the musical grain down there, big time. This LP, like I said, represents a hit collection and 45 collection in general from their 1969 to 1972 period. Now they actually formed, I believe it was in 66, but they didn't get anything put out until 69. But these guys were way out there with all the craziness that they were doing. They were artsy, fartsy kind of things that they did on stage and music-wise. Anyway, so anyway, after 72, Rita had left the band, and then the band went into another kind of a prog trip. But to make a longer story longer, they did 8 LPs altogether down that way. Finding an original copy is impossible, so I was really glad to get my mitts on this. This whole platter, I mean the whole thing, is something to behold and appreciate. Because Psych, whew, man, Psych was just everywhere. It permeated everybody's brains all over the planeta. So, we're going to talk about, I know, once we get going again there we are. We're back to Bumper City. Thank you. Today's bumper, musically, is... Oh, gotta go off camera. Well, maybe not fully. Anyway, we're listening to another... I got this one digging down in the desert. I paid $1, and it's mint cover, mint sleeve, mint record. This is one more of those in the massive series from the great one, Jackie Gleason. To the moon, Alice! And so, as I was just saying, we were recently in the Mojave on a tripping experience. Whoo! Just digging on the night sky. I'm telling you, it is really far out down there. If you get a chance, and if you don't get a chance, just find your way down there. It's the land of Captain Beefheart, because he lived in a trailer down there in that town that we were actually near, Landers. but I've got a bunch of other stuff because there was actually a very, very small, compact record get-together down there at a gas station. Where you can get water, and you can get gas, and you can get records. How about that? So I got a bunch of stuff down there, and we'll get into that on the next episode, because I got some really out-of-sight finds, and they were bargaining down there too. And I even got an LP I've been searching to replace that I had the original copy when it came out in '68. I'm not going to tell you what it is, although it is associated with Frank Zappa and his label, Straight. And I've been searching for it ever since I had to sell it because I needed the rubles. Anyway, I found it. It's, love it. Okay, so that's it for today. And I just want to tell you, I'm glad to be back up in the San Francisco area. We had a cool time. My two cousins were there with us, and it kind of blew their mind too. It's just, the desert's really far out. That goes without saying, doesn't it? Lots of sand and Joshua trees. Oh, but they weren't blooming. Anyway, I'm going on too long. Oh no, I'm not. You're still here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. Just thanks for being around. You know, I'm here for you if you need to talk. If you just want to drop a dime on the line, you got my emailer. I can work with you on that or not. It don't matter. It's all good. Just remember, I love you. There's always somebody out there for you, and it's mwah. So until we're able to get together again and enjoy my platitudes, please be safe, be smart, don't forget to vote. Happy Veterans Day is coming up to all the wonderful people that have done things for this country and for other countries that were in the right for, I don't know where I'm going with all that, just forget it. Anyway, thanks vets, love ya. Remember, we are all one, and I want to say peace to you.